The leather belt made a sharp crack through the air before it connected with my back, sending fire across my shoulders, even through my shirt. I bit down hard on my lip, refusing to give them the satisfaction of hearing me cry out. "You will serve your brother his dinner," my mother said, her voice cold and measured as she handed the belt back to my father. "Or you'll get another reminder of your place in this family." I stayed on my knees where I'd fallen, my whole body trembling, not from fear anymore, but from rage. Pure, crystallized rage that had been building for 19 years. "He's the king," Mom spat, gesturing toward my brother Adrian, who sat at the dining table with a smirk playing on his lips. You clean his toilet. You wash his clothes. You serve his meals. That's what daughters are for." Adrian, 2 years younger than me at 17, hadn't lifted a finger for himself since he could walk. Every morning, I was expected to wake up an hour early to prepare his breakfast, iron his clothes, and pack his lunch. Every evening, I served him dinner like a waitress in my own home while he played video games or scrolled through his phone. Weekends meant doing his laundry, cleaning his room, and even completing his homework when he couldn't be bothered. "Get up, Mira," my father commanded. "Feed your brother or get out, worthless." Worthless. That word had followed me my entire life like a shadow. Worthless when I brought home straight A's because women don't need education. Worthless when I got accepted to university because you'll just get married anyway. Worthless when I worked 2 jobs to pay for my own expenses because that money should go to your brother's future. I stood slowly, my back screaming in protest. Adrian was watching me with those cruel eyes, the same ones that had watched 100 other beatings, 1,000 other humiliations. He held out his empty plate, wiggling it mockingly. "I want seconds," he said. "And make sure the meat isn't overcooked this time." Something inside me snapped. Not broke. Snapped into place like a bone that had been dislocated finally sliding back where it belonged. "No," I said. The word hung in the air like a grenade with the pin pulled. "What did you say?" My mother's voice was dangerously quiet. I said no. I straightened my spine despite the pain. "He has 2 functioning hands. He can serve himself." Adrian laughed. "Mom, Dad, she's lost it. Beat some sense back into her." My father reached for the belt again, but I stepped back. "Touch me again, and I'll call the police." "You wouldn't dare," he growled. "No one would believe you." I pulled out my phone, showing them the recording app that had been running for the last 10 minutes. "They'll believe this. Every word. Every hit. Everything." My mother's face went pale. They were respectable people in public. My father a bank manager, my mother a secretary at a law firm. Image was everything to them. The mask of the perfect family could never slip in front of others. "You're bluffing," Adrian said, but uncertainty flickered in his eyes. "Am I?" I backed toward the stairs, keeping my phone visible. "I've been recording for months. Every beating. Every degrading comment. Every time you've made me your slave." I looked at my parents. "Did you know that what you're doing is illegal?" "I'm 19. An adult. This is assault and forced servitude." "You live under our roof," my father said, his face reddening. "Our rules." "Then I'll leave," I said. "Tonight." My mother laughed, harsh and mocking. "With what? You have nothing. We've made sure of that." She was right, partially. They'd taken most of my earnings, claiming it was for household expenses, while Adrian's part-time job money went straight to his savings. But what they didn't know was that I'd been skimming. $20 here, 30 there, hidden in a tampon box in my closet, the one place they'd never look. "I have enough," I said. "You walk out that door, you're dead to us," my father threatened. "No inheritance. No family. Nothing." "What inheritance?" I laughed bitterly. "The one you've already promised to Adrian? The family that treats me like an indentured servant? That's what I'm supposed to be afraid of losing." I went to my room, locking the door behind me, a lock I'd installed myself after Adrian had gone through my things one too many times. I could hear them arguing downstairs, my father's voice booming, my mother shrieking, Adrian whining about his dinner getting cold. I packed quickly but carefully. My documents, birth certificate, social security card, the passport I'd gotten secretly. My laptop that I'd bought refurbished with money saved from not eating lunch. The few clothes that weren't threadbare from hand-washing Adrian's first. And from the tampon box, $2,847 in carefully folded bills. 3 months of planning, of saying I'd lost receipts, of pretending items cost more than they did. As I packed, my phone buzzed. A text from Natalie, my manager at the coffee shop where I worked mornings. Hey, that full-time position opened up. It's yours if you want it. Comes with health insurance. I'd been waiting for this. Praying for it. Full-time men enough to afford the tiny studio apartment I'd found near the community college. It meant freedom. Another buzz. This time from Professor Martinez, my English teacher from senior year. Mira, the Scholarship Foundation approved your application. Full ride to State University, including housing. Congratulations. Official letter coming tomorrow. I sat down hard on my bed, phone shaking in my hands. A full scholarship. I'd applied in secret, using the school's address for correspondence, writing essays during my breaks at work. They'd actually chosen me. A pounding on my door interrupted my shock. Open this door right now, my father bellowed. Give me 5 minutes, I called back. I'm packing. You're not going anywhere, my mother's voice, shrill and angry. Adrian needs his dinner. Then Adrian can make his dinner, I said, pulling out my second phone, the one they didn't know about, bought with tips from the coffee shop. I started uploading the videos to cloud storage, then emailed copies to Natalie and Professor Martinez with a simple message. If something happens to me, please send these to the police. I opened the door to find all 3 of them standing there. My father's belt was still in his hand. Adrian looked petulant. My mother's face was twisted with rage. You, she pointed at me, are an ungrateful. Stop, I said, holding up my phone. I'm live streaming. Say hi to the 300 people watching. It was a lie, but they didn't know that. My father's hand with the belt dropped immediately. I'm leaving, I announced, pushing past them with my bags. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to let me go quietly, or these videos go public. Your friends, your coworkers, your church, everyone will see who you really are. You wouldn't, my mother whispered. The shame. The shame is yours, not mine, I said. I've done nothing but try to be a good daughter to parents who see me as free labor. Adrian grabbed my arm as I passed. You can't leave. Who's going to do my laundry? Clean my room? I looked at him, really looked at him. This spoiled, entitled child who'd been taught that women existed to serve him. Part of me pitied him. He'd never learn to take care of himself, never have a healthy relationship, never understand why the world wouldn't bend to his will the way our parents had taught him it would. You are, I said, pulling free. Or you'll stink. Your choice. I made it to the front door before my father played his last card. If you leave, you'll fail. You're nothing without us. You'll come crawling back within a week. I turned back one final time. You want to know something? I've already succeeded. I got into university on a full scholarship. I've been promoted to manager at work. I've saved enough to leave despite you taking almost everything I earned. I did all of that while being your slave, while being beaten, while being told I was worthless every single day. I looked at Adrian. Your son, your king? He's failing 3 classes. He got fired from his job for not showing up. He can't even make a sandwich without help. But sure, tell yourself he's the future and I'm worthless. My mother's face crumbled. The scholarship, that's not possible. We didn't sign anything. I'm 19, I reminded her. I didn't need your permission. Just like I don't need it for this. I held up my phone, showing them the email I'd just sent. That's the recording going to Mrs. Patel. Mrs. Patel was our neighbor, but more importantly, she was the biggest gossip in the neighborhood. By tomorrow, everyone would know if I released it. You didn't send it, my father said, but his voice wavered. Check with her tomorrow if you don't believe me. I've scheduled it to send at 9 a.m. unless I cancel it. If anything happens to me tonight, if you try to follow me, if you show up at my work or school, it sends automatically. It was a bluff. I didn't know how to schedule emails. But they didn't know that either. I walked out the door into the cool evening air. Behind me, I could hear Adrian's voice, high and panicked. Wait, who's going to make my lunch for tomorrow? Make it yourself. I called back, not turning around. I walked to the bus stop, my back still burning from the belt, my bags heavy in my hands. But with each step, I felt lighter. 19 years of servitude, of being told I existed only to serve my brother, of being beaten for the slightest resistance. It was over. My phone rang. An unknown number. I almost didn't answer, then recognized the area code. It was from State University. Miss Kumar? This is Dean Jefferson from State University. I wanted to personally congratulate you on your scholarship. Your essay about overcoming family adversity was one of the most powerful we've ever received. Thank you. I managed, my voice thick with tears I hadn't realized were falling. I also wanted to let you know that we have emergency housing available immediately if you need it. Professor Martinez mentioned you might be in a difficult situation. Ah, yes. Thank you. I might need that. Come by tomorrow. We'll get you settled. And Miss Kumar? You're going to do great things. I can tell. As the bus arrived, I looked back one last time at the house where I'd spent 19 years being told I was worthless, where my only value was in how well I could serve my brother. Every window was lit up, and I could see shadows moving frantically inside. Let them panic. Let Adrian learn to do his own laundry. Let my parents explain to their friends why their daughter suddenly disappeared. I got on the bus, choosing a seat by the window. As we pulled away, my phone buzzed with message after message from my family, threats, pleas, demands. I blocked each number without reading them. Then a different message from Natalie. Just watched the video you sent. My God, Mira. I had no idea. You're the strongest person I know. My couch is yours for as long as you need it. Another from Professor Martinez. Received your email. Documents are safe. Proud of you for taking this step. The scholarship includes counseling services. Please use them. As the bus carried me toward my new life, I thought about the word that had defined me for so long, worthless. They were wrong. I wasn't worthless. I was worth the scholarship I'd earned. Worth the job I'd worked hard at. Worth the friends who were offering support. Worth the future I was going to build with my own hands. Hands that would never again serve people who didn't see my value. Adrian would have to clean his own toilet now. Make his own meals. Wash his own clothes. Maybe he'd learn. Maybe he wouldn't. Either way, it wasn't my problem anymore. I pulled out my notebook, the one I'd hidden at work and wrote in during breaks, and opened it to a fresh page. At the top, I wrote, Day 1 of my real life. Below it, I began to write the story of a girl who'd been told she was nothing, who'd been beaten for refusing to be a servant, who'd been called worthless by the people who should have loved her most. A girl who proved them all wrong. A girl who was free.